This is the PL-89 Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar for Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, which is Yom Revi'i, the 17th day of Elul, 5785. The Torah portion is Ki Tavo. The Daf Yomi is Horiot, Horiot, page 9. Okay, and this is the Gematriatic Thought Calendar, PL-89 Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar, and the numbers for today are 20, because 20 represents the 10th. About 7 days ago, I think, we were on Elul 10th, and so we were on 20 also. It's a lunar and a solar calendar, and it could be many calendars, and they're all just in one calendar. And when you come to each box and you get the number of the box, that number is supposed to, the more gematrias you know, the more you can connect to something that is relevant to that day, and find new things. And the idea is to develop new computations based on an accumulation of new gematrias, forming a knowledge base, a data set of gematriatic computations, and possibly making a way for certain types of prediction. So the process has started by looking at each box each day and saying, what happened today that matches the number in the box? That's the basic process. There's a lunar number and a solar number, represented by the Hebrew and Gregorian calendars. And so the Gregorian calendar, obviously it's September 10th, and the 10th is in box 20. That means you count from box 1, and you count 40 days, you'll be in the 10th day of the next. It's like saying August 40th. Now, you might be asking, and it would be a very good question, why do we start from August? The answer is you don't always start from August. There are different dispensations, and these dispensations determines where is the start point. There's 3 basic dispensations represented by the numbers 8, 4, and 2. The reason why it's called 8, 4, and 2 is that 8 was the format, or it was the dispensation. For 8 years, it was in one way. And then 4 years, it halved, and then it halved again. And then for 4 years, it was another dispensation, and then for 2 years, and that's the period of time that we're in right now. It's the third dispensation, and there's one more dispensation that will halve again. It'll be 1, and it roughly corresponded to the time that Bitcoin halved, which is interesting. I didn't plan that. I think it halved in 2016. It halved in 2020. Halved in 24. These were the times that this thing halved as well, which is why I think it's connected to cryptocurrency, but that's for a different thing. So today, it's on the 20th. Based on this dispensation, September 10th or Elul 10th, okay, or any mutable month, again, for a different time, will be the 10th will be here. December 10th will be here. March 10th will be here, was here. Okay. So September 10th is in box 20. The coordinates are H5. H5. And for the lunar calendar, it's the 17th of Elul, which will be in box number 39. Box number 39, the coordinates are G6. G6. 39. 20. The rule of 40 is on any box in this calendar, if you add 40 to it, it's considered part of the same box. For example, if September 10th is box 20, then 60 is in this box, 100 is in this box, 140, 180, 220, etc. 2,020,000, 2,020,000,000. It can go, that's what allows you to work with any whole number, positive or negative, because they're all fitting into these boxes here based on that rule. And so if I'm in box 20 and I think about And another rule is that whatever is next to the box, this is purple, and this is called lavender. It may not be actually lavender, it might be more violet, but PL-89, one of the reasons why it's PL is purple and lavender. These two, one is a box, but together they're called a rectangle. And they can merge to be one composite number, or they can be two different numbers, but they're both applicable to the same day, as a general rule. And so when I look at 20, I look at September 10th, I see what's next to it, I see 11. By the rule of 40, 11 equals 51, because you always had 40. And the name Gary came up today. And it doesn't come up every day. And Gary equals 51. That means that Gary equals 11 by the rule of 40. Just subtract or add 40. So if I see that 11 and 20 are is today's rectangle, and I see that Gary came up in the context of a business thing, that's really interesting that it should come up on this day. That's what this calendar is meant to do. And so sometimes I'll do it by projecting. In other words, I'll say in the morning, I'll say today is this number, I'll be on the lookout for that. I consider that a bit of a lower level, because if you intend to do something and look for something, you'll generally find what you're looking for. If I say I want to see a pink Mazda today, you'll probably it's not so common, but if you're American, Israel probably not, but I haven't seen any Mazdas here so far, but maybe I wasn't looking for it. Maybe there are. But anyway, whatever it is, if it's a certain type of car, or a certain type of food, or a certain type of any brand name of anything, if you put your attention on it, you'll probably see a lot of that thing. Because they're always around, it's just what you put your attention on. But I think what's a higher level is when you don't attend it. And you don't look at the number, and something came up, and afterwards you come home and you realize that it was the same number. That's a higher level, because then there was clearly something else going on, and I consider that a higher level of data mining. But today, I think it was, and there's different combinations of both. Like, I don't know if I might have glanced at it, if that affected my subconscious. Maybe I subconsciously picked out this name to call Gary because of that, maybe. But I can't tell you consciously that I did. I think I emailed him, but the thing is, I didn't connect. When I was doing it, I certainly didn't say, oh, today is the rectangle's 11, so I better email Gary. No, I didn't do that. And once in a while, I will do something like that. But anyway, today is 20, and 20, there's many names that came up. And in this case, I did a lot of, this is just very useful for if someone asks you to pick up something, to just think something, suggest something. I can give you 5 names right now that are 20 by the rule of 40, which is 60. So 60 would be Judy, Peggy, Grant, Rhonda, spelled R-H-O-N-D-A, Rhonda. 60. Darren, Moshe, M-O-S-H-E. What else? Brian, spelled with a Y. B-R-Y-A-N. What else? Those are the names I can think of right now. There are 60. So if someone said, just pick out some names for me, and I knew those names were 60, and today was 20, I would just pick out those names. So, and those happen to be names that I know of and would be likely to contact. But it doesn't predict whether it'll be successful with those names. It just says it's a selection technology. It's a selection mechanism that when the name comes up, you can just spit out all the choices that equal that name based on that day. And I haven't worked that long enough to see if there's any statistical data on that, but that's for there. And then, 39. Okay, here's a good one. I got a card, a bank card, a new bank card today. And one of the, like how the Visa has 4 digits, like 16 digits, but they're 4 groups of 4 digits. So one of the groups of 4 digits was 3,900. I think that's pretty interesting. Today, L17 is box 39, and one of the digits are 3900. That's not such great odds to just out of random on one particular day to have that 39 match this box and to match that card. There's I don't know what the odds are, how many combinations of numbers could be in a 16-digit number. Of course, Visa, the first has to be 4, and around this time, it's probably going to be a lot of the same numbers, just different combinations of them. I don't know what it is, but it's probably in the millions, I would imagine. And so it's not good odds that one of them would match up, and yet it did. Today it did. One of the 4 digits of that number is 3900, and today L17 is 39, as you can see here. So these are little things. They're little bits of data that are true, and they're factual, and over time, the hope and the idea is to see how they all connect, if they do. And I've described this before, that this is basically a theory of everything that is formulated as a calendar and expresses itself through numbers. And since all thoughts and all speech can be expressed through numbers, all thought and all speech can be conveyed here. And that's the basic idea of the PL-89 quantum gematriatic thought calendar.